Hello, welcome to another episode of the Calling and the Climb podcast. I am Philip Hampton, and my co-host is Kent Curry.
Hey,
Kent,
Philip.
how are you today?
Doing all right. Doing all right. You?
I'm doing well. I want to talk about customer service today
Okay.
because I love good, over-the-top customer service. As a matter of fact, I will pay extra for good customer service. Will
Oh.
you pay extra for good customer service, Kent?
I don't think so.
Well, after this podcast, you might, because it is so important. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I lived in an area of town where the uh, the dry cleaners that was on the way for me to work was in a little strip mall center, strip
Okay.
shopping center. So I'd have to park, I'd have to get out of my car, go in, leave my clothes that I needed dry clean, and then in the evening, same thing, park, go in. And at that time, there were some other little dry cleaners that were popping up around in the area, and it was like you could just go through the drive-through window
Ah,
and drop them off. Very convenient. I thought, I should do that, more convenience. But I would not leave my dry cleaner of choice because of customer service. Because number one, she knew who I was. She
okay.
called me by name. Hello, Mr. Hampton. How are you today? I don't
Mm,
know why that is important to me, but it was.
right.
She did little extra things like I was missing a button on a shirt. She put it on there and didn't charge me anything for it. The other people either they didn't see it or they charged me extra for that. She gave me something at Christmas time. She gave me a little Christmas gift. It didn't mean it was just the little things that added up. And I'm like, I'm loyal to my dry cleaner. I'm not leaving her because of good customer service. And
Got it.
I was convinced that customer service was the key to our success in my small business.
All right. From day one, or
Fr-
as
From
time went on.
from day one. Obviously, to grow the business, to grow revenue, to get more clients, you've got to have a really good sales and marketing effort, whether it's a can campaign or referrals or whatever it is. You got to go out and have a way to sign up new customers to grow the business. Sure, you can do that all day long, but if you're not retaining the clients that you're getting, it's just an empty, it's just a funnel. You're just bringing
Right.
them in and sending them out the other side. So customer service, in my opinion, is as important or even more so than your sales and marketing effort because retaining the customers is what is going to grow your business. And people stay with businesses that provide good customer service.
That's
So,
true. You're right.
yeah. I mean, we see Chick-fil-A is an example.
Sure.
Chick-fil-A has become, I think last time I saw the number one fast food place in America. Yeah,
Right.
their food, chicken's good. Yeah, right. But what is it that marks Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. My pleasure.
My pleasure. Yeah,
Yeah.
something simple, but it's just the little things.
Right.
And so I harped on that from day one, it was just me, but as I began to add employees, that was something I really wanted to instill, particularly in client facing employees, is that customer service is the most important thing that we do here. The most important thing that we do. So I'm going to give you, Kent, just a few keys that I found helped us to focus on quality, top notch customer service that I felt was a big factor in our success down the road.
Okay.
Number one, personalizing our service.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, we were an IT company. And so we
Okay.
did IT things. And IT things are not very personable and they're very forgettable.
Yes.
Quite honestly, I wanted to do good IT things, but I wanted people to know that I did good IT, and I wanted people to remember me when I was in their office. And so I
Right.
tried to put a personal face on IT customer support. What does that mean? Well, it's very simple. It's don't just be a robot. Be a person. Get to know people. Don't just come in and say, "Move, let me sit at your keyboard. I'll fix it." And then walk off, trudge off. Yeah, "Well, how are you doing today, Carolyn?" "Oh, what? Was your dog better?" "Yeah, you were telling me the other day your dog was." Just little things. Little things go a long way to cementing your reputation as good customer service. A lot of what I did to enhance our customer service had nothing to do with my technical ability. And a lot of my frontline techs ultimately that I hired on into the business, I wasn't necessarily looking for the very top-notch technical because these are entry-level people. I was looking for people with good people skills. I used to tell our
Okay.
people, we answered a lot of phone calls. A lot of requests came in over the phone. I said, when a customer calls, they need to be able to hear you smiling over the phone. They said, "Well, how do you do
Okay.
that?" It's your tone of voice. It's just the way you approach people, Kent. It's an attitude. It's just a person. You put a personality on what you're doing, and that goes a long way. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The smile over the phone, I can see that. That's invaluable.
Have you ever sat on an interminable phone call with customer support? Number one, you
Yes.
can't hardly understand because it's crackly, crackly, or else they're in another. Their English is their second language, and then it's just not personable. And so I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be a personality focus. So that was number one. Number two, and this is kind of goes with it, but effective communications. And this is something I had to drill into my people time and time again. Again, because just the nature of sort of the IT mindset. Um, yeah, and I get it. It's kind of like, I'll fix it. I don't have to tell you what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing and I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. But I used to tell like, if somebody sent in a request and they've got a really big issue, a really big problem, and this happened on multiple occasions where it would go to a particular tech, and they immediately start working on it, and they may be working for half an hour on it, and they're diligently trying to figure out the problem, but they never even acknowledge getting the request from the client. And I'm like, that's a big fail right there because that client is sitting there. I've told
Right.
Jimbo I've got a problem and he has not even responded. He's probably out on a smoke break. He doesn't even know about my problem. So they're conjuring up in their head all the things that you're not doing, but you're actually doing. So number one, just acknowledge it. It's very simple. But
Sure.
it was surprising to me how that was non-intuitive for a lot of people. Just simply, "Hey, Gladys, I got" I don't know why I'm using these names. "Gladys, I
That's
got your request,
that's
and
fine.
I'm on it. I'll give you an update." So number one, just respond, a timely response. Another thing that I stressed is nuance doesn't often carry on an email or a text or some kind of electronic communication. So you're trying to be smart alecky or you're trying to be cute or whatever.
Mm,
Ooh, many times that does not translate. So be aware
right.
of that. Just stick with the facts in the electronic communication. And then if you want to make a little joke when you're face to face with the person because they're used to your joking style or whatever, that's fine. But many times that does not translate on written communication. So I always
Too true.
stress that. Have you found that to be true?
Oh yeah, yeah. By far, you're
Yeah.
completely right.
Some of these things go just for interpersonal communication with friends or whatever. Another thing is I always told our folks never deliver bad news via an email or a text or some kind of electronic. Like
I like that.
your hard drive is dead. We lost all of your documents or whatever. Nope, that's tough news for whatever it is. If it's tough news, sit down across
Yeah.
because you can soften the blow with the way you deliver that news. And I know that seems maybe hypocritical a little bit, but it's just good customer relations. Like, I'm sorry, your internet's going to be down from 3 to 7 this afternoon. And it may be no fault of our own, but if it just goes down, or we just like send out an email, um, your internet's going to be down. Deliver that in person. Always tried to do that. Another thing equally important is to make your triumphs visible. I used to tell our guys we want to stress in our practice to be very proactive. So much of IT is reactive. Oh, we've got a crash. Oh, we've got a virus. Oh, we've got email is down. Oh, we've got this. And we're always trying to fix, and the client is upset and because things are not working the way they need it to work to get their job done. And so we're under the
Right.
gun. And so the more things that we can prevent happening like that, the better it is. And so I would say let's be proactive. If we find an issue before it occurs, let's fix it so we don't have to react to it in a crisis situation. But when you do that, announce your victory.
Oh, good. I like that.
If a tree falls in a forest, if a tree falls in the forest,
Yeah.
but nobody hears the sound, did it really fall? Did you really do anything? If you don't get credit for it, yeah, it'll make our life easier, but earn some brownie points with your client by saying, you know what? We found an issue, an impending disaster that was going to happen on your server, and we were able to stop it in time. Now, I'm not saying you announce it to the entire client base or whatever, but the person, your point of contact. And we found this issue
Right.
and we fixed it before it became a crisis. We just wanted to let you know. Do that. Do that. Goes a long way. And this goes under communications. The last thing I'll say about effective communications is try at all cost to avoid a reactive first response, particularly it's a bad situation or someone. Generally, if people are having an issue, a client is having an issue, they're not in a good mood, and that is going to come across on whatever communication, voicemail, direct phone call, email, whatever. And so I had a practice personally that I did and worked for me. Many times I would get angry at unreasonable clients I thought were unreasonable clients. And I had a retort that was a perfect put down and a perfect response to their unreasonable request. And I go to town typing that out. And I'd be so proud of it because it was logical and it made total sense and it put them in their place. And you know what I did? Before I hit send, I said, I did this more than once. I'm going to put that. There's a drafts folder in most email management tools like Outlook, and I would say, yeah, I'm going to close that. Do you want to save it? Yes, because I still might want to send that because it's good, but I'm going to put it in the drafts folder, and then I'll take a break and I'll come back and read it. And about 99% of the time, I'm like, I'm glad I did not send that response because it was not the right response. I was angry. I was reactive. I was in the moment. Step back from it. Even though the client didn't do that, they responded very angrily or whatever, and maybe inappropriately. But your response doesn't have to repeat that mistake. And just step back from it, catch your breath, and then reevaluate. I'm going to tell you that it's saved me so much heartache, not only in client relations, but just in personal dealings with people. There are
Right.
misunderstandings, and with social media, particularly today, the immediate response is to just let somebody have it, the what for and whatever. And so many times, if you just cool off and you back up and you look at that with a cooler head, you're like, oh, that's not appropriate. So if you can just I'm not saying don't type it, vent your frustration, do it, but put it in drafts and don't send it until you cool off. That'll
Smart.
save that'll save you. Can't that'll reimburse you for whatever you pay for this podcast today.
Yes.
All right. I don't know where I'm at. Number three, I think number three.
Yes. Yes.
A while back there was a company that had an advertising campaign. I think it was Staples about the easy button. Remember the easy
Yeah,
button?
it was Staples.
Yeah. And so I told our guys we need to make an easy button for our clients. Make it very easy for them. And I have overheard texts before talking to someone. It's doing what? No, what were you doing? Okay. Can you give me a screenshot of that? I'm like, whoa, hold on, hold on. Don't make it hard for the client to get support from us. It would be
Definitely.
like me taking my car in, and I know nothing about cars other than how to drive them. But it would like me taking my car into the garage and saying, you know what, is making a rattling sound. It sounds like it's in the back somewhere. And they go, well, come back here and show me exactly. I'm like, I don't know. Or they open the hood. Where do you think it's coming? Show me. I don't know. That's why
Right.
I'm bringing it to you. You're the expert. Figure it
Yes.
out. All I
Right.
have to do is drive my car in there and give you the key. That's all, and tell you what my problem is, and then I'm out of there. That's what we need to do for our clients. Don't make it hard for them. And I've heard, particularly some techs kind of get full of themselves, and they fancy themselves as being good troubleshooters, and they try to get the client to and teach them up. Well, let me show you something. And if you'll do a control alt this or whatever, don't do it.
Yes.
That's why they're paying us. They don't want to be gurus. They don't want to be IT people. Do it for them. Make it easy.
Yes.
Can you tell I'm passionate about this?
You are a little impassioned about this. This is a favorite topic, apparently.
It is. I'm telling you, it was my mantra. All right. Another thing that I told our folks many times is you need to recognize that not every client is equal. Whoa, really? Oh, yes, really. And I would give this example. Let's say that you had um, a small law firm that did X amount of business with us. And they've got it called in. Hey, I got a little problem over here. Can you help me? Okay, I start working on that problem. Then first come, first serve. That's pretty much how we do things, right? And then you get a
Yeah.
call from Mr. Jones, who is the senior partner, or Mr. Jones' assistant, who is the senior partner of our largest revenue client.
Mm.
And he has a problem. What do? I drop
Right.
what I'm doing for small law firm X and I go help Mr. Jones. Now, people can disagree with me all you want, but no, you play
Right.
for the people that pay for your services. Not every client is
Yes.
equal. Um, Also, I discovered not every client wants to be treated the same way. There are some clients I would go to a consultation with them, and you know what? They will spend half of the time talking about their kids, their grandkids, their dog,
Mm.
where they're going on vacation, ask me where I'm going on vacation. And you know what? If I had the time, I humored them. And I would, well,
Okay.
yeah. So you've been to Yellowstone. Well, tell me about your experience. That personal connection. And then there were other clients. They were all business. Like they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to know what I was doing for vacation. They didn't want to know about anything other than get this fixed. And so you learn not every client is the same. And so you play whatever game that client is willing to play with you. And you've got to be versatile. And you do that. I guess an example for me is if you go into a retail store, and I hate going shopping, like shopping. I very
Yeah. Okay.
rarely
Yeah.
go shopping, but occasionally I will go shopping. And I'm the kind of person that if you come up to me, can I help you with something? No, I'm looking or whatever. And then they just hover around. That irritates the snot, and I won't buy anything because they're just hovering. So
Yes.
that
Yes.
person needs to recognize that makes me uncomfortable. And by my
Right.
response, they should know this is a hands-off kind of person. I want to know
Yes.
where they are. If I need them, I'll come get you. But don't you just look over my shoulder ever. Is everything still okay,
Right.
sir? No, no. I'll
Right.
let you know if I've got a
Yeah.
problem.
Yes.
So
100%.
again,
100%.
you identify with
Total.
that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just
Okay.
tell me where you'll be if I have questions. Yeah.
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 Oh
I
goodness.
don't. I don't need a shopping assistant or whatever the
Yeah.
equivalent is.
So
Yeah.
read your client. Read your client. Read your client, and that applies certainly in our situation when we were doing consulting work, but in every retail. In every type of business,
Right.
be able to read your client and adapt to where they are. I'll give you another example. I Many times, some of our bigger projects, we would have to have these proposals like for a new server upgrade or whatever, and it'd be,
Okay.
multi thousands of dollars. It's a big deal, and
Right.
we're not gonna pull the trigger until the person authorizing it signs and says yes, do it, because that means yeah, we're gonna pay for it. And so I don't know why, but sometimes attorneys, they're notorious for, at least some of my clients were notorious for, like, it would sit in their inbox forever, and they
Mm.
would just hang got around to it or whatever. And so many times I would try to just catch them in their office. If it was something it was critical, we needed to get done, I would try to catch them in their office and say, "Hey, we need to do this now." But there were, I know one in particular. I could go into his office, and he was a good client, and I could tell just by the way he spoke to me what kind of mood he was in. And a lot of times it
Okay.
depended on whether he was in trial mode, he's getting ready for a trial, or if he's
Mm.
just in relax mode. And if he was in trial mode, I knew better. He's not going to sign anything. So I just walk out.
Yeah.
But if I was walking down one day and I knew there was a pending proposal and I saw he was in relaxed mode, I'd go down to my office. I get the proposal. I say, when we'd yuck it up or whatever, say, "Oh yeah, I need you to sign this," and without even looking, he'd sign it. And I got my proposal.
Oh wow. Right. Right.
I did it all
That's
the
great.
time. I did it all the
Hmm.
time. Read the client. All right. So the last thing I'll talk about is sort of over the top customer service. And where this really matters is in times of crisis. I contend that
Okay.
over the top customer service in a time of crisis is like doubling or tripling the value of a stock. Say you got a stock in the
Oh.
stock market. So my stock, my logic for stock with that client, and even at the community at large, can overnight increase exponentially by over the top customer service in a crisis. Example, 2010, I'm in my business, in the middle of my business, have a number of clients in Nashville. And I don't know if you remember this or not, it didn't get a ton of national play. It should have, because it was a devastating event, that Nashville had like 100-year flood, like
Right.
just
Right.
over several days in May of 2010. It like just the heavens opened, and it was, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember now how many people lost their homes. We had a number of deaths. It was devastating, both on a personal level, economically, it was devastating. And so our office was located downtown, and we happened to be an office building. We had several clients in that office building, and a lot of their electrical um, connections and so forth was underground. It was downtown. And so, as a precaution, because water was rising from the Cumberland River, which is right there in downtown Nashville, it already come up over First Avenue, Second Avenue, getting into Third Avenue, and so on. We were on Fourth Avenue. And so they preemptively said, "We are shutting the power to this building. It's
Okay.
going to be down for at least 24, maybe 48 hours." I can't remember how long it was down. It was multiple days. Well, at that time, that was before everybody was in the cloud. So every law firm had their own servers. All their documents, email, and everything was housed in a server in their office. So what did that mean? That means you say, "Oh, well, send your people home. They can work from home." No, because their server has no power because it's in that building. The whole
Hmm.
building's going dark. So I
Right.
called my guys in. I said, "Okay, this is where we can prove our mettle." And we had a couple clients in that particular office building. We are going to figure out a way to keep them up, because number one particular client was in the middle of a huge trial involving a big pharmaceutical company at the time in federal
Wow.
court. They're not going to stop the trial. So we worked overtime, and I told my guys, I said, "You know what? I don't care how much you work. I don't care how much overtime you get. Keep a log of it. I'll pay you. I promise you, I will pay you, but leave no stone unturned. We had to physically move servers out of that office building and move them to an offsite location away from downtown in a data center and set up all of those connections and get everybody in the law firms access remotely. And we did that within 24 hours.
Oh
I'm telling
wow,
you,
that's great.
that was like in the eyes of that client, in the eyes of a number of clients, even non-clients who were down over that period of time and had no access to their data. And they heard about the
Right.
client across town. Oh, how did y'all stay up? Invaluable, over the top customer service. So that's my little message. I'm a customer service evangelist, Kent, and I'm passionate about
There.
it, and I believe in it, and I'll pay extra for it. And so that's my message on customer service.